So a pair of supplementary adjacent angles. So they must be 180 degrees and they must be next to each other. Two angles, 180 degrees next to each other. What about 1 and 6? Don't they add up to 180 because they're on a straight line? And aren't they right next to each other? They're adjacent. Why? Because they share this common line here. That's what adjacent means. They share a line. 6 has that line and 1 has that line. So there we go. 1 and 6. Pair of equal vertically opposite angles. Okay, that's easy. It's this 2 and that 4. Because you see this line is straight, and this line here is straight. That's what makes those two equal vertically opposite angles. Look over here. Do you see this 3 and the 7? Does this line look straight to you? Look here. You see? It's not straight. That's why 7 and 3 are not equal. Pair, so 2 supplementary co-interior angles. Co-interior is the C shape, okay? And if they're supplementary, it means they add up to 180, the two angles. And that only happens when the lines are parallel. What about this one here? There, there, and there. You see the C? Those are parallel. Alright, so the answer is 3 and 6. D, a pair of non-supplementary co-interior angles. So now we are again looking for the C because it's co-interior, but non-supplementary. So it means that the lines won't be parallel. That's why the angles won't add up to 180. Alright, so let's find another C. Here's the page. How about like this? Look, there, there, and there. That's kind of a C shape, do you agree? But because these lines here, there and there, they're not parallel, that makes those two angles not supplementary. Okay, I'm going to put a double line there because the angles are different. Okay, those two angles, they are co-interior, I agree, because they're in the C. But they are not supplementary because the lines are not parallel. In this C here, the angles were supplementary. They did add up to 180 because these two lines are parallel. E, a pair of complementary adjacent angles. Okay, so pair, so with two angles that are complementary, so they add up to 90 degrees, the two angles together, and they are next to each other. It's definitely this 9 and that 5. Because they have to add up to 90 because there's a 90 there. And those three angles all together have to be 180. So if that's 90, it means these two here together must be 90. So they are adjacent complementary angles. A pair of equal alternate angles. Alright, as soon as they say alternate, we're looking for the Z. How about this one here? You see that orange Z? This line here is parallel to that line there. That makes 4 and 9 equal alternate angles. Two pairs of equal corresponding angles. So let's find an F. There are many F's here. I can see one right here. Look there. There, and there. The F is quite easy to see. It's upside down and pointed to the left, so it's a very weird F, but it's still an F. Alright, and because these two lines are parallel, we know that the 2 and the 9 are equal. They wanted another pair as well. What about this one here? There's an F. Okay, so that 1 and that 3, they are equal corresponding angles. Now they want also two pairs of non-adjacent, so the angles can't be next to each other. Non-adjacent complementary angles, not next to each other, but they must still add up to 90 together. Do you see this triangle? The three angles inside the triangle add up to 180, you know that. If this one here is 90, what must these two here together add up to? Also 90. Alright, so that makes those two angles complementary, because they add up to 90, and they are not adjacent because they don't share a common line. Okay, so there's the one, and here's the other one. I'll do it in orange. You see this big orange triangle? This is still 90, which means these two together here must be 90. So 3 and 9 are also non-adjacent complementary angles. A pair of unequal alternate angles. Alternate angles are in the Z shape. So I want you to look at this Z here. Look at this Z here. You see that line there? Do you see that line there? And you see that line there? That makes a Z. Do you agree? It's definitely a Z there. Check. But is this line here parallel to this line here? No. Therefore, although 10 and 9 are alternate, they are not equal because the lines are not parallel. Two angles, when added together, equal angle 10. Okay, grade 8. This is probably the most difficult property in geometry, and the reason why it's the most difficult is because it crops up the least. You know, you don't often see this question, so it's not one that you get too used to. But it goes like this. I'm going to draw a triangle. Are you with me? Okay. If I extend any one of these sides, pick a side. Tell me when to stop. Stop. Okay, there. This one. Must I take it out that way or must I take it out that way? Let's take it out to the top. There. You see how I extend the line? As long as that line's straight like that, then this angle here is the exterior angle. I'll call it A. It's exterior because it's outside the triangle. Alright? And that angle is equal to B and C added together. It's equal to the opposite two interior angles. That's the rule. So A is equal to C plus B. That's called the exterior angle of a triangle. But you must just be very careful. If they give you a triangle like this, okay, and then I'm not going to extend that line. I'm going to take it out at a, you see, it's not, this is not a straight line, you see. Now, if they give you that A as the exterior angle, you can't say it's equal to B and C. You can't say A is equal to B plus C like you could with this one, because of that weird line there. Let's try and find this in the question. There's your angle 10. Okay, you see this triangle here, the pink triangle? I'm going to extend that up straight. So 10 is equal to 1 plus 2. You could also get it in this green triangle. Look here, the big green triangle also has this line going up, agreed? So that angle 10 there is equal to 3 plus 9.